Peace and blessings, community. I am super excited today to stand here at Shemekka Ebony in partnership with BlackGirlMagic.Market to have a conversation and an exit interview with this brilliant, amazing, shining, glowing, luminous sister Nikki Alston, who most recently participated in our Community Connectors initiative. We had a cohort go through 4 months, strategically being intentional around amplifying resources and access to opportunities. And she was a representative leading the way in Eastern North Carolina. And while we have this moment on the couch with Miss Austin, please tell us about yourself.
All right, I'm Nikki Alston. I currently live in Henderson, North Carolina, and I am engaged with Trust Community Engagement. I met Miss Ebony through NC Idea, and from NC Idea, our paths connected, and we just continue to talk, and that's how I was introduced to Black Girl Magic Market, Community Connectors. In the 4 months of Community Connectors with Shemekka, we shared resources with each other. It was a group of 5 or 4 of us, I believe. And we just shared various resources with each other. We helped promote each other events that were being held. And we just did a lot of wellness check-ins on what's the next phase and what's the next stages that we would like to see ourselves go as we set out to be Black women entrepreneurs and go to the next step in our lives and just do things to enhance our community.
I love that. And one thing that I really appreciated about you being a part of the connectors is you represented community engagement consulting, which is a service providing avenue as an entrepreneur, which is very unique than a product-based entrepreneur. So having you a part of Community Connectors really speaks to an audience that not only does Black Girl Magic Market serve, but it also is a reflection of my firm and our service providing with coaching and consulting. So having you come through the cohort and the meaningful engagement, intentions that you set and how you showed up in spaces has just been really awesome and amazing. And so I am proud and happy to be connected with you and have you participate. One of the things I wanted to give some space to as we are sunsetting this cohort and this experience, are there any things about the Community Connectors Initiative or the monthly meetups or the resource sharing that stood out to you? Had you seen that in practice in other community work that you had done? Is there anything that illuminated that you would like to share?
Okay, so one thing that illuminated that I would like to share is Shemekka shared a book with us that would help kind of guide you mental towards business. I think a lot of times we speak of having a business mindset. We speak of having, what can I say, a business mindset, initiative, drive, and go. But this book also made you look within. And by looking within, you're seeing how you as a whole person has to show up for your business. And you only thrive in this business when you show up as a whole person. There are several organizations that I have been tied with, and we all approach things differently. But one thing I can say is we as a Black community are really learning how to hone in on the importance of being a whole person for anything that we do. So with Shemekka's book, the one aspect that was different, the one aspect that illuminated is the pages are short, but very, very powerful. What she has in 1 or 2 pages, I've read that in 200 pages. So it's almost like short, straight to the point, and it hits hard. Like, this is what needs to be said, and this is the reflection. And I really think that's sort of the direction that we need to go to. It's a lot of things out there that really can be spoken a lot shorter and still make the same impact. We did an interview one time where I expressed, I understand why our kids really don't like school, and whether we like it We as a people are not big readers, and we understand where that comes from. Systematically, slavery, we understand where that comes from. But as we all are publishing books, trying to get our point across and publishing things, it's really time to narrow it down, because life is really a lot more simpler than we're making
Mm, that's so
it. And
good.
yes, it comes with many, many challenges, but at the end of every challenge, it really is almost a simple answer, way more simple than we like to see it, no matter how much we magnify the challenge or want to dissect the challenge and pick it apart. When it comes down to the end, it's really about, are we going to help make people better, or are we going to tear people down? And he's getting to that point, but she's getting to that point of, how can I make you better, that you would be that person to show up to make other people better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, and amen. Like, thank you, Nikki, because that, as long as it took me to hold on to While I'm Getting Naked, partially because it is an activation. Like, it is some work. It is some breath work, body work, challenge yourself work. Um, and it's so necessary because we need that reboot, right? So you have affirmed the intention of this ministry mission of While I'm Getting Naked to help us reboot and recharge. Like Illuminous, this is, it's all connected. His brilliance is my missions, it's my hedges and highways. And so being on this journey and meeting people like you and asking you what makes you brilliant, and then seeing ways that your light gets brighter and brighter, in on these pathways, showing up in rooms, it's been beautiful to witness. And it's all connected because we have to kind of deal with the part of us that we see every day. No one sleeps with us more than we do. And for a long time, we've run away from who we really are, and try to cover it up, mask it up. So While I'm Getting Naked is that stripping journey. I had a pastor, a friend of mine, that would say, God loves a stripper. And that was his sermon one time. It's like, yes, because I am taking this off. I am laying aside every weight. I celebrate where you are on your journey and what lies ahead, and just know that, this is when the jam comes on. This is when your fight music comes on, and you just like hype yourself up with your affirmations, sis, as you go into what's next. So I definitely appreciate you trusting my firm to walk with you, and then trusting a group of peers that you had never met before across the state that are all doing different things, that you would be intentional in developing relationship and getting to know these beautiful, brilliant, and amazing women. So that's important to be able to have as a takeaway when we look at how meaningful engagement can show up and look in community. So I have one more question for you before we wrap our time. If there be any component of community connectors or the whole, cohort initiative as it stands, that if there's something you would tweak or add to, or the experience could have been made more meaningful to you, meaningful enough for you to recommend, what are some things that you would like to share with that reflection?
The main thing of being more meaningful to recommend is, we have to learn how to take a chance on each other. And I know we have that saying that all skin folk ain't kin folk, and I hear you, but what's the gospel song? Life is like a baseball game. Sometimes give people 3 strikes. Sometimes take 1. You know what I mean? But a lot of times we're not even really willing to even step on the field and give people that one go. So this whole thing is about unity, and we got to figure out a way to build each other and put a lot of those things aside. So one thing that this opportunity gave me was a chance to take the action that I would recommend to everyone else. Because how you and I met on that NCID call, I didn't see your face, you didn't see mine, but you heard in my voice what I wanted to set out to do. And you said, hey, I can help with that. And you did. And that's it. Like it was that simple. And some things in life, it's like, if you really know that's what you want to do, and you've been surrounded by 100 people and nobody's helping you get there, then you got to step out and take a chance on that one person that at least said they can help. Give them a chance to say if they can or if they can't. And if they can't, then you ain't lose, because you've been around 100 people that never helped you anyway. You feel me? So how are you losing? How are you losing? But that's what we really have to do. We really got to learn how to take these chances. And every year I take a different chance. So I am going to put a plug out for NC Block, because that was a chance I took last year. I took a chance with NC Block last year. I took a chance with you this year. And as it goes on, I'm going to keep taking chances. One thing I will say in North Carolina is we have the momentum, and this is a beautiful state. So please take your time to put some of these differences aside and connect. Let's build each other up. Trust community engagement. I do my thing. I do. That's my company. That's my heart. And even in trust community engagement, I came up with that idea because I was naturally doing it on my own, and it wasn't a business. I was doing it because I saw the need to do it. And connecting with you is when I learned how, like, hey, you could take what you're already doing and make it a business. And even though I put that idea out, like, I want to make it a business. He was like, I can show you how to do that. And we are doing it. We have made steps to do it. I have a whole, hold on, let's put Miss Ebony Isaac out there. We have a whole step in circle of what to do and how to do it. Very simple. And you check off where you at. You check off where you at, and you can see where you at, because it's that easy to check off and say, yes, I did this, I did that, and this is what I have left to do. And yes, I have some steps left to do, but I made the initial step. And not only was I able to make the initial step, I made the initial step in fear. And I didn't let my fear stop me from giving myself and somebody else a chance. So now that I'm leaving Community Connectors, I can honestly say I am an investor. I am a contributor. I do promote Black women entrepreneurs. Give a shout out to my nail tech, Bombshell Hours here in Henderson. She's a Black entrepreneur as well. And you gotta build. And it's one thing I will say, another thing Shemekka helped me realize, and you've heard it many times, count your small steps. But even Shemekka just helped me realize, like, no, sister, you got to reword how you're doing this, because you are doing it. And my small steps, my big steps, however you want to count them, I'm doing it. Period.
Yes. Period. Okay. Yes, like, that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing your reflections, your journey, your wisdom. I mean, you had some drop mic segments that I'm glad we were able to capture, because there's a nation of women just like you, Nikki, that are on their pathway, figuring it out. They're learning new language to translate where they are on their journey. And the exposure to these new languages, hearing your testimony, hearing your truth, is going to help them say, oh, I can go a little further, because, okay, she get me. She got me. Oh, that, and yes, expect to see a lot of these. Dropping hearts and mics, all of that. Thank you for your lived experience expertise. Thank you for taking that leap and trusting. I love NC Block too. Shout out to them. I've worked with them through the years in building capacity and creating pathways and contributing to that ecosystem as well. So how affirming and how full circle it is that they're able to see their reach and their impact as well. And community connectors cohort, member and facilitator from the work that we've been able to do together. So thank you for lifting that up. This concludes our portion of our exit interview and our sunset. How can people get in touch with you if there's an organization or institution that wants to connect with you about community engagement and maybe get your consulting? How can they reach out to you?
Okay, so I'm still kind of in my dinosaur ways. So if you want to reach me, it's good old fashioned email, Nikki Alston at yahoo.com. And that's Niki, 1K, Alston, Alston at yahoo.com. Or you can text my number at 919-725-8523. Just initially send a text and let me know, hey, I want to reach out to you about trust community engagement, and I will call you back.
Yeah, so trust community engagement is off the map. This is the way that you'll be able to reach her during this exclusive time period. Now, if you're getting this late or you on the replay, she may get a little too busy and she may have to get back to you through her firm that she's growing and developing. So make sure that you jump on that in Eastern North Carolina, especially municipalities and organizations and nonprofits looking to meaningfully engage. This is the one, and trust community engagement is a good partner to have at the table.